Hello, this is Kevin with the Healthy Omnivore, and today we're on day 5 of the 7-day healthcare e-course, and I want to continue with this short little series on exercise progression, and now we're actually on pushing. Remember the 5 moves, 5 parts of the Healthy Omnivore routine: pulling, pushing, squatting, yoga, and static stretch. Right now we're on the second part. And so I want to get to that. And remember, exercise progression is important because you want to be able to master a specific move before you go to the next one. And with your upper body, some people teach you should be able to do 50 reps. I think it's a little high. So I think 20 repetitions of something is ample. So I'm just recommending that you do 20 repetitions perfectly before you go to the next move. And at that point, you should be able to do the 8 to 10 rep range of the next step. So let's go ahead and get started. Some of this might be a little bit of review, but that's okay. You probably can't get enough of it. I just want to make sure you do it correctly and you understand. And the reason this is important is because this way it's always, your workout's always going to be kind of fresh, and you're always going to be adapting. Your body's always going to be changing and improving. You won't get stagnant. So let's go ahead and start. We actually talked about, I believe that you actually, if you're really, really weak in your shoulder joint, you could actually get to the point where you're actually just doing wall push-ups. Pressing away from the wall, all right? Just make sure when you do your push-up movements that elbow is beneath the shoulder at all times. I'm seeing people with their hands above their shoulders. No, you don't want to be doing that, because you can mess up your shoulder if you do an incorrect push-up. So you're here. And also, if you feel like you're a little tight, depending upon where your hand is, well, move your hand around. Like I have an issue with my right shoulder, and I found that if I just internally rotate just slightly, it actually seems to be easier on my shoulder. And also, by the way, I know that there actually are those infomercial type of gadgets where you actually move your hands and it actually works your chest differently. No. The pack is right here, goes over this joint right here, attaches right here. See that? Pulls across. So pack goes across, touches this joint. So what does this muscle have to do with what this hand's doing? So anyway, you can pass on that. It might be good maybe if we put your shoulder in a better position, but as far as hitting your pack, no. Anyway, so let's go ahead and get you started. So we talked about the wall push-up. The next move, remember, is the knee push-up. Remember, the key here is straight spine. Do not flex the spine. Do not extend the spine. Tighten that core. If anything, keep your butt up a little bit as long as you keep your spine neutral. You get to the point where you're burying these and you want to go the regular push-up, but that's too big of a jump. You do the halvesy. You eccentrically come down, drop your knee, press up. Eccentrically come down, drop the knee, press up. Then you're to the point where you're actually doing the push-up. Perfect mechanics. And you might be thinking, well, Kevin, you're going all the way down. Yeah, I'm going all the way down. And that's really what you should be able to do 20 times before you go to the next move. So if you're doing the knee push-up, halvesy push-up, regular push-up, you should be able to get to the ground, come out of the bottom 20 times before you go to the next step. All right? Now, next move would be the Hindu push-up. And like I said, there's a zillion different things you can do to improve and to add a little bit of extra intensity to these exercises. Like some people may put in bands behind their back. Some people may even put on a weight chest vest. There's all sorts of options. But I'm trying to keep you away from different modalities and buying a bunch of equipment. So what can you do? So the next step would be to actually add the Hindu push-up. Now, it's going to kind of look like downward dog, but with a wider stance. So if you wanted, you could just start an incline plane, go into your downward dog, go with the wider stance, and then I'm going to drive my forehead, chin area, right into my thumb and my fingers. And then I reach up, exhale, come back. Inhale, exhale. Okay. Now, the next move, I personally think is more difficult. Some people think they're about the same. I disagree. And that's going to be the dive bomber. Dive bomber is the Hindu, but then when you come back, instead of driving your butt up, you actually just trace your tracks back. Kind of like that idea of getting into this move out of the downward dog. Incline plane, downward dog, right stance, get your hands in the proper position for you. And so that would be the dive bomber. All right, now I want to add one more. And you can see there are some challenges you might have if your workspace is a little small. And your mats are moving all over the place. But some people may actually try to do the handstand push-ups. Now obviously that's a very advanced movement, but you can do, to get yourself to that point, there are a couple moves that you can do to actually get you there. So I'm going to show you the pike push-up. So once again, I kind of like that idea of starting in the inclined plane. We go to the downward dog, and then I'm going to drive my hands close to my body. Now, what's key there is do not, when you're driving your hands down, my face is here. Don't get your elbows behind your shoulders. That's what's going to cause all sorts of challenges for your shoulder joint. They call that the closed pack position. So when you see people pulling behind their head and pressing behind their head, sooner or later they'll be visiting the orthopedic specialist. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at what would be the next move. And we won't be doing a handstand push-up here, but that's all right. I mean, it's just all about exercise progression. I just want to show you the options that you can actually do. So anyway, from the wall push-up to a 90-degree shoulder push-up, a 90-degree wall push-up, you can call it whatever you want, super pike push-up, that's the exercise progression. So you can see that just in a small area, you can put together whatever you want. I just want to teach you how to progress, how to implement those. If you travel, you'll have a workout no matter where you go. If you stay at home, if you go to the park, there's no reason that you can't get in these small 10 to 20 minute workouts 6 days a week. All right? So I'll be talking to you next time. We're going to do one more for today. For exercise progression, we'll be talking about the squat. And this is Kevin. Thank you very much.